Why do you keep on trying to bother her? What?
Holy shit, the door just slammed. Are you a demon? What was that?
Say that again.
Did I say yes?
No. Are you What is going on?
And hello everyone, how's everyone doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Fan-freaking-tastic.
Great.
Welcome to the Cryptic Cart.
How's everyone doing tonight?
YouTube.
I don't have
So we're good on YouTube, but it's questionable on Facebook, so I'll get on that.
echoes in my head. The
That's
voices,
an
they're
echo.
back.
We have an
Sorry.
echo
The
going.
voices
Oh
are
my
back.
god. It's almost.
That's the bad thing about the voices go, we never left. I'm like, son of a... Okay.
I worked my ass off today trying to get rid of the echo. Come on now.
Sorry, that was my fault.
Well, we think we're live on one page. We'll be live soon on the second page on YouTube. Or Facebook. Same thing. Not really, but okay. This is Cryptic Heartland Podcast, episode 59, not 58, with Marie D. Jones. We're just seeing if you're paying attention at home. So if you're not, that's on you. Tonight's going to be a special episode. We have a couple of guests calling in pretty soon here. We're going to try to get the video element up with them too, so it's something different we've been trying to work on behind the scenes for, and we think Jeremiah thinks he's got it figured out. So kudos to Mr. Producer Jeremiah.
Good job, Mr. J.
Oh, whatever.
So a couple things we changed. You see the intro was a little different tonight. We worked on getting that changed, and I think all of us are running on fumes pretty much. I know I got like 4 hours sleep, so barely. And you guys drove back from private investigation last night, so you guys are probably in the same boat here.
Yeah.
A little tired.
Feeling it a little bit.
Yep. So, but that's what we do.
That's what we do.
I was gonna say it ain't any different. We did it last weekend. We'll do it next weekend. So, well, you guys will. I won't. Suckers.
You're bailing too.
Not bailing. I've got stuff to do at the shrine. So I'm helping kids.
Yeah. He's touching kids. I mean, helping kids. Didn't you guys do?
Wow.
Oh, you're not a priest anymore. I forgot.
Wow.
We're going there already.
Dude, I'm tired. Oh, wait a minute. Live video begins in 11 minutes on Cryptic Heartland on Facebook.
I just had to set up a new feed. I don't know what happened with the other one, but
Today at 7:15. Sweet. I'm going to get kicked back for
hey.
10 more minutes. Oh, wait a minute.
I like it when
We
Leo's a
can't do
little
that?
loopy, you know?
When I'm tired?
Yeah, I like
I'm
it a
tired,
lot.
injured, and broken, and all that other shit between.
That means he's going to pick on me quite
I'm
a
going to
bit
pick on
tonight.
everybody. Jason? I'm not going to see you to my left. Nah, it's fun. Like I said, we're rolling on fumes, and it's going to be a fun night. We got a couple of guests calling here pretty shortly. It's Sean Evidence and Sherry, I'm going to butcher her last name, Oryavong. They run on YouTube and Facebook. They run Bigfoot Evidence. And then also on the website is squatchable.com. If you're into Bigfoot, which we are, especially that guy over there who believes 100%, they're pretty awesome because they have stories, and it's not just their own evidence, the stories that people call in, write in, email constantly into, and they put a collection. Some people have their stuff together, they just submit it. Some stuff they do for them, and it's for them, and it's pretty awesome. There's some great stories out there, great videos, man.
There are.
So I know it's special, near and dear to our heart, because we've had so many experiences out in the field ourselves, looking for ghosts, and came across Bigfoot himself. So it's gonna be fun. Can't wait to pick their brains apart and see what they have to offer. So while we wait on them to call in and Jeremiah to get the stream up here, how was last night without giving away too much details?
Fantastic.
Okay, good. Moving on.
Back to you, Bob.
Back to you, fuckers. Anybody seen Bruce Almighty? When he loses his shit, that's funny. Anyway, go ahead, Jason. How was last night again?
Fantastic.
Okay, good. Still.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Good, man.
Started off slow. We
Not for me.
For like the first couple of hours, it was probably not a lot going on for the majority of everybody.
Okay.
I can't speak for him, but
I
mean, he had a pigeon that flew into his head. So
that's awesome, dude. Please tell me it's on video.
We really had
I
to
don't
bring.
think so.
Damn it!
Is it on video?
Please
No.
tell me. Son of a gun. It makes it all worth it.
It could be. It could
No.
be. You never know.
Not anymore.
It might be. It might be on audio though.
I hope it's on video, so a new trailer coming.
Leo, if you could have seen it. I mean, I'm off by myself, and I open a door to go into an area, and then I'm sitting there, and I go, "Oh, this is like a closet." And one of the other guests
come out of.
that came out with us was in the other entryway. It's pitch dark. All I have is a little red lamp that I was wearing on my head. That's it.
Okay.
And so I see this door, and I go to open it, and yeah, like a pigeon or dove just come out and hit me right in the head. I go out of the room screaming, and this guy Chris goes, "Damn, I thought we got rid of Jason. I got rid of those earlier." And I go, "You knew they were in there, and you let me go in there?" And he just started laughing.
There's pigeons everywhere.
No reason to, man.
Yeah. Hit me right upside the head.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Well, we
Do you remember the movie? What was that guy that came out of the deal with all the snakes in his hand? Pee Wee Herman. Do you remember that? And he comes running out of there, and he goes, "Ah!"
From
That was me coming out of the room. Yeah, that
trying
was
to
me.
save him from the fire. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do remember that actually. That's funny. You're Pee Wee Herman once again. You know his backstory, so it's not too far.
Here we go. Here we go.
So, go ahead. Sorry, you were saying. And what else?
I have no idea.
Oh, Pee Wee over there was talking.
It's
Now
hard
we
to
know-
follow me.
Now we know a new nickname. That's just add to the list. I didn't
Pee-wee.
keep score at home. Ruby.
Wow.
Oh wow.
You know,
Ruby,
Shits with giggles.
Shits with Giggles, Pee Wee.
Pee Wee. Rocky Road.
Oh no.
And what else? I got the one. Don't forget. I haven't forgot.
No, we're good.
No.
I thought it was pretty intense last
forgot?
night, actually.
Hi ho, come
You
on,
know.
Pea Frog. Okay. Anyways, back to
All right,
action.
back to the action.
So sorry, I did the old not clap your hands so Jeremiah's eardrums don't get blown away.
It was only his left one.
You can't hear out of that one anyway, so we're good. Right, Jeremiah? Thank you. See?
I'm working on all this. You can talk about me all you want to. I don't care.
It's funner to do it when you participate. That way you can hear everything we're saying. So you can talk back. That way you just flip us off behind the scenes like normal. You usually go like the old scratch the head. But so you said start off slow. I drink a big drink of water. Come on, talk about it.
Man, he's wired.
Dude, I'm going on pure adrenaline. So in case you
Oh
don't know.
no, it was very slow at the
Okay.
at the beginning, but it seems like after we took a break and went back in, it just came to life.
Cool, man.
We were hearing walking around upstairs when there's nobody there.
Was there upstairs? Actually, upstairs.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
there's an upstairs, there's a basement.
Was there 3 levels?
Yeah, you got the basement, main level, and upstairs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was pretty big. Now the acoustics in there, we had to really watch out for bleeding into each other and stuff like that. And Jake's got such a powerful voice. It just echoed throughout the whole building wherever he was at. It didn't matter. It's like,
Why was it so so? Because
Just-
lack of what do you
well,
call it?
it's been abandoned since '89.
Has
so
it really? That
yeah,
long?
yeah.
Holy
So
crap, I
about
didn't realize that.
we got 30 years of falling apart.
Okay.
And I'll show you pictures of everything. I
saw some
sent
of the
you.
ones,
I sent you
it
that.
really made me feel better about not being there. Thanks, I
Oh,
appreciate
it was
that.
awesome. Yeah.
He sent the pictures. I was like, tear. I want to be there. Yeah, no, that's cool. Hopefully we get to go back. I think you guys, from what I've been hearing, you guys did a great, fantastic job as expected. I think they'll have us back. So
Yeah,
as long as we live up to our bargain at the end, we'll be fine. So we
just got to go over all that evidence and stuff. We had a lot of failure of batteries and stuff like that. Fast.
That's intriguing because this place has no electricity whatsoever.
Yeah,
there,
and
right?
we were getting hits on K2.
Awesome. REM pod, I heard.
REM pod.
Upstairs, and nobody's upstairs.
Millimeter was going off.
That's awesome.
Changing, very, very minimal.
Yeah,
But the K2 was going off with question and answer.
Which, like I said, it's fascinating
right
stuff
on top.
because there's no electricity, so
No.
There's no reason to
Well,
have
and here's what was really
any
cool,
kind of-
and Jason can contest to this too as well. If you asked it to go to yellow or
Yeah,
orange,
it
it
would
would
go,
stop on that color.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
that.
smart.
That's
So it
pretty good
wasn't
going.
that it was just going off.
Yeah.
You could say a color and it would stop on that color.
Yeah.
No. Oh, sorry.
Recorders in the basement. I mean, that thing, brand new batteries,
Yeah.
dead, gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes no
My
sense.
camera, all of our cameras were gone within the first round.
Wow.
We died, and then we had to recharge theirs. I just switched to a different camera, and of course, it died within, 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I think I got about 2 hours
Yeah.
of filming, and that's about it.
Total.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because when we first started, we went down the first hallway.
Uh-huh.
We were kind of together filming in separate directions, and he
Right.
goes, "Oh my God, I'm like down to a quarter battery." And I go, "What?" And I look over, and then I look at mine, identical, quarter battery.
Cool. Well,
And then they both died within seconds of each other.
Hopefully that's because of the fact that whatever's there is draining, the batteries that we always asked for on command to build that energy, and maybe they're smart enough.
Yeah.
Now I watched some of the stuff that was sent to me. I know you guys were throwing out names and stuff, and you talked about a certain type of person there. Was there 1, 2, 10, 30 ghosts that you guys feel like was there in your estimate?
I
Estimates?
can attribute to my side at least 3 that I know of.
Okay.
That's what I was looking at too, because that's what we were getting as well.
Just 3?
Did
And
you,
we weren't
did
even,
you
we
ever
weren't even
hear
with,
about that conversation?
No, Dan wasn't even around.
Wow.
for that.
You got
Okay.
hit in the head and ran, right?
Yeah, hit and ran. I did.
That's
Hit and run,
interesting.
baby.
That's interesting to hear him say that
Yeah,
because
so-
that's
Really sweet. That's what we attribute. And I mean, I think probably the biggest piece of evidence, which I wish we had audio or video on, but myself and our guest Chris and Jake were down in the lower basement, and man, we were communicating with what we thought was a male.
Okay.
And
Turned out to be Roth,
well, yeah, it was Roth.
not a male.
Not a male.
Sorry, sorry. It was there for me to take. I grabbed at it.
It
So.
was answering questions, and I mean, right on cue, with a flashlight and with, the SB11.
Right.
Um,
Did it work this time?
I changed batteries and it kicked.
Okay.
Well, and actually, I took the external speaker and it worked much, much better.
Oh, okay.
So
Interesting.
it was. I think the speakers take too much
I bet
juice.
you. Okay, that makes sense. I didn't think about trying that. We talked about batteries in Leavenworth.
Yeah.
I figured it might be the batteries too. Okay, sorry. Continue.
So we're down there, and and I got the camera focused on. We had the grid light set up, and we were catching shadows, which from one of the tunneled areas, shadows would come out, walk back. It was kind of crazy, and then all of a sudden, Chris was talking. Hey, there's a white mist over there, and so I look over towards that way, and Jake looks over that way, and there's a table that we had some stuff sitting on, and directly underneath the table is 2 legs
Really?
walking, and it just dissipated.
Now the legs were they like a certain type? Was it a uniform type, or was it like a nurse's gown or anything? Could you tell? Or just actual legs?
It looked like uniform or
Really?
Dark pants of some type.
like a nurse.
No. Male. It was a male walk. It was a.
Those are nurses.
So
True. Jeremiah, males and nurses,
yeah,
right?
male nurse.
Yeah.
it could be a male nurse. You're
Like
right.
the movie Fockers.
This guy.
You are correct. I apologize.
This sexist dude right here. Okay, keep going.
We're talking 1880.
I'm kidding.
But so we both Jake and I both seen these legs, and it was kind of it set us off, and it was like, wow, that was cool.
Could you hear him walking too at the time? Or
We had we heard boots, one time it was actually upstairs. It was Jason. He was heading back outside. But right after he got done exiting, we confirmed on the radio, we got scuffles, like boots sliding, and then we heard doom, doom, doom.
Wow.
So, and
That's cool.
on the concrete. So.
Let me ask you this. I know the area. How was traffic-wise interference?
Not bad. Not bad at all. It's kind of off.
Building, so.
It's off the road
right,
quite a
set
bit.
back
Now
up on a hill.
you'd hear, like semis.
Yeah.
The heavy stuff.
The Jake breaks.
Jake breaks every once in a while,
Yeah,
but not
but-
much.
Yeah.
Which we thought was actually Jake.
Yeah.
Which he has his own.
He's got his own break. Yes, he does.
But yeah, no, it was pretty. It was pretty good.
Good.
It
I was
wasn't
just
bad.
curious because that's one thing I worried about because I'm sure there's I've seen some boarded windows, broken
Yeah.
windows. I didn't wonder
Oh,
if
yeah.
you get a lot of interference.
Very much so.
So that's cool. That's good that you guys were able to.
Now I'll tell you one story.
Okay.
And there's two.
No, you said one.
Is there
Only
both?
one.
No, I
Go ahead.
actually went outside,
Yeah.
get some air, and went across the road just back behind.
Yeah.
And to the tree line. And
Were you still on the same side of the street or across the street? South?
No, I just kind of crossed over the
highway?
behind. No,
Okay,
no,
well, that's what I was
behind
asking.
the building.
I got you. That's what I was asking. Okay.
Not the highway.
Yeah. I got you.
Just
Sorry.
behind that. I was just looking around and saw a shadow, like full movements of figures and everything, like
Really?
running backwards,
Away from you guys?
away
Like,
from
you
me,
startled it?
going toward the building.
Oh, towards the building.
And then a little bit later, we actually saw a shadow. Paula saw it. We were standing
Hey.
in front of the building,
Uh-huh.
and she was looking down toward the highway, and in the stoplight, or not stoplight, but the street light
Yeah.
shining on the sidewalk,
Mhm.
she saw a dark figure running down the sidewalk back toward us, and
Okay.
then fades away.
Wow.
Freaked her
So,
out. Freaked
was
her
it
out.
the same shadow, do you think, or was it a
Could
different
be.
shadow?
Could be.
Opposite side of buildings, but
I mean,
I mean, it was
maybe
running
right
all
to the
over.
yeah.
Now,
Right.
not too far within, probably walking out a little bit of a jaunt. Do you guys happen to check out the cemetery by chance?
No, we didn't.
I was just curious to see if anybody.
We
ran
did-
over.
I didn't have.
So-
I didn't have
that's cool.
permission, so I didn't want to.
No, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
great. We don't never trespass on anything. We investigate.
We
That's-
wanted to.
I know.
Jake was almost there. We had to hold him.
Well,
Everybody's pant
and
loop.
I feel the relationship we built with the owner, not the owner, but the supervisor, I think in time it maybe opened up more doors to more
Yes.
buildings because that place. Did you happen to go back and, like I told you, down the street and drive around over there?
We did.
Yeah,
See all those old
yeah, we
buildings
did,
with the
yeah.
houses and the schools and all that
Custer,
stuff?
Custer's
Yeah.
house.
So it is
and all
Custer's
that.
house, right?
Somebody lives there.
Oh, okay.
Somebody actually lives there.
That's cool.
So,
yeah.
I just knew the street's named after him, and I knew the building was
Yeah.
there, and it's like his own little city down there. So that's cool. So
Not to go off key, but when they were talking about custard,
yeah, go ahead.
I thought we were going to go get custard.
He's really.
I mean, I honestly did. I was like excited, and I'm like, where are we at?
General Custer.
Yeah.
Wilson Coaster. Nope.
Cool. So, whenever you guys are ready, I think we have our
Yeah.
guest. Okay.
Go ahead.
All
Bring
right.
'em on.
Well, this is the moment we've been waiting for. Sorry about the delay a little bit, people at home, and to our guest. I can see them on screen, waiting anxiously behind the scenes. You guys can't see them quite yet, but she's excited. That's all excited face. Hey, guys. Coming up, we have Bigfooting evidence on Facebook and YouTube. Oh, there they are. And also squatchable.com. I see Sean Evidence, and I also see Sherry, and I want to butcher your last name, Oryavong.
Yep, or you want.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
there we
nailed it. I practice all week. That's why. No, I'm kidding. Thanks for joining us, guys. I know you guys are out in California where it's a little bit sunny. Well, I guess we have sunny weather here too, but it was a little
Oh,
cooler
yeah,
down here.
I'm about to go mow my lawn here after this.
Very cool. Give me a second to put my cans on so I can hear you guys better. So, so what's going on today, guys? It's Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday, just working around the yard. Just getting stuff.
Yeah, Sundays are usually a little bit slow because everybody's out in the field bigfooting right now.
Oh, man. I wish we could be out there.
Come Monday, that's when we see the big stream come in, and
Do you?
there's a whole lot of stuff to be able to share to everybody out there.
Very cool.
Yeah, we typically get a lot of messages on Facebook because we have a Facebook page, and people just send us all these pictures to swamp us on the weekdays after the weekend. So it's pretty crazy.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, I was gonna say, we kind of gave some of your story before we got you on the show here. I was telling the guys here that they haven't seen the websites. I was like, it's awesome because you guys do a lot of the stories for people. You get, the emails, the Facebook page posts and stuff like that. You get to see a lot of stuff behind the scenes with the Bigfooting themselves, the stories, before the public gets to hear them and see them. That's awesome.
Yeah, we do have a lot of stories that come into us, and we like to share them. Some people, they're a little bit more shy about sharing them, and so with that, if it's something that they want to remain anonymous, we're fine with that. Basically, we feel like bringing in all of this information onto our page gives everybody a chance to look at what's out there, see what's out there, and kind of come to their own conclusions. If somebody sends in something that maybe for some people they're like, oh, that's not evidence. Who knows? It may be that in that area that's actually a very valid piece of evidence.
Very, very cool. Before we get into the meat of things, I want to introduce everybody on panel here. I'm Leo. I've been talking to you over the phone. To my left, introduce yourself, sir.
I'm Jason.
I'm Dan. How you doing?
Roth.
And the man behind the scenes, I don't know if you can see him or not, he's busily working. He's a producer. He is Jeremiah. So, and you guys are, like I said, Sean Evidence and Sherry Oryavong. And you guys do the Bigfooting evidence, and also you do the Squatchable.com, which is, I spent all late last night going over a lot of your guys' stuff because I was so, like a kid in a candy store, basically, ready to dive in. So it was fun to sit there and look at all your guys' videos you guys have out there. You guys have some great work going on. So kudos to you guys. So we want to kind of know a little bit about you guys as far as kind of what got you guys, first of all, what do you guys do when you're not, doing the websites and actually going out in the field? What your everyday lives look like, and then kind of what intrigued you to start even doing this?
Well, for me, I mainly stick around here on our small little hobby farm. We were originally going to do this outside, but if we did this outside, there'd be like a chicken right here.
It's called dinner, right?
Because our chickens, they're like little spoiled little baby brats.
Oh.
But this guy, he goes out and does a lot of stuff. But I don't know, he's a strange cookie. He's been doing PCT hiking this year. Stuff like that. So he's actually been out deep in the woods in the middle of nowhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I like the outdoors. There's nothing better than just being out in the wild. There's something about it, something primal about it. I can't explain it. I mean, I just have to go out there. It's it just feel refreshed when I come back.
Very cool. I mean, it's
awesome.
It is calming, yes, but it's also for people like me. I'm a city folk, and I Roth's kind of the same way.
Yeah.
We rather stay, a hotel, motel somewhere versus sleep on the land.
Yeah.
I'd rather be out in the woods hiking.
I'll do it if I have to, but if I had the choice, give me technology every day. So.
Yeah. This guy, he managed while he was on the PCT. How many miles did you hike total so far?
I think I did like 100 miles.
Oh my gosh.
While he was out there, he managed to still be connected to the internet out there.
Yeah, it
That's
wasn't
good.
much of a break. I still had to be online and stuff, checking on the website. And I'm an online guy, but that's our life, We spend all our lives online. So
Very good.
That's how we started this Bigfoot thing. It was all started off as a blog,
Mm-hmm.
It all started with Monster Quest and all those shows.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then we started watching those shows, and we took the kids up to Oregon. Was it Oregon?
Well, Oregon and Washington.
Yeah, and watched
Mount Rainier.
Yeah, Mount Rainier, and we went to like the creepiest place. Just like okay, we got to this place at where was this place? Mount Rainier.
Yeah, it was the Carbon River Ranger Station.
Okay.
Wow.
Basically it's a temperate rainforest, so it's an inland rainforest right there, and it's a creepy place.
When we got there, right, it's like so creepy, and I guess we got there at 5, and the ranger was like in a hurry, like he was like looking behind him, like scared or something. I'm like, and we're just by ourselves, with the kids. And man, this is crazy.
That's encouraging when you see the ranger running, and you're like, "What? Should I run too?
Yeah.
What's the deal? Are we safe?"
Yeah, Yeah, this guy, with him, for me, I have, I really follow that sense of feeling of when you have a bad feeling, you don't go. This guy, he's like, oh, let's go check it out. So we ended up hiking the loop through there.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, without the ranger being around, so there's nobody there to hear us scream.
Which brings up the age-old question: if you scream in the woods, does anybody hear you? Probably not. So.
Especially this place, because it is just deep and dark, and yeah, it's middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So did you guys camp out there that first time, also too?
No
Okay.
way. No, I tell you, I'm the scariest. I'm biggest scaredy cat. I mean, there was. We'll probably get to it later, but yeah, there's some sightings. There's some things I've experienced up there. Not over there, but over here. Truckee, you know what Truckee is? Truckee, California.
Oh, yeah. It's talking about a Bigfoot. I'm like, I got you.
Yeah. So I'll tell you guys about that.
Okay. Very good. Any questions so far from you guys on the panel?
Go ahead.
Don't be shy, guys. Come on. I know you got a pad over here ready to roll. So.
Do what?
I said neither of us bite.
See, that's where you go wrong. We all bite over here, so no, I'm teasing. Very good.
No, I just want to know how you guys got involved into the Sasquatch and Bigfoot. And
yeah, did you have a personal encounter, or was it just something that you just?
Either way. Basically what happened is, remember the whole housing crisis and everything when the market started collapsing back in 2008, 2009 region?
Yeah.
Well, at that time, I had lost my job, and he was the sole provider at that time, and you couldn't find any jobs, period. Well, he always liked the whole paranormal stuff and the Bigfoot stuff, and he was really interested in that. So he started up a blog, and that actually eventually became his second job. And so, yeah, Bigfoot fed the family for a few years there.
So he does exist.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it was 10 years ago. Was it 10 years ago? It was when finding Bigfoot. No, I started before finding Bigfoot.
Oh, wow.
I started a blog. Coincidentally, Finding Bigfoot came on, and all of a sudden people started coming to my blog because I started blogging about the show too, and I think we were getting like 1 million page views a month.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. And it just people just kept coming, and it was very gossipy though back then, because there wasn't much Bigfoot news. So there wasn't a lot of Bigfoot videos like you see now on YouTube. Now you go on YouTube, it's like thousands of videos.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Everything.
Back then, there's only a couple of people who go out there and film themselves. A lot of people were still shy back then, and so the only thing you have left was gossip. So, and yeah, I think in total up to now we did 25,000 articles on the blog.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And I was doing it. I was doing 25 articles a day by myself. You know.
Good grief.
Yeah, I was a madman, but I had to support my family. And then,
understandable.
And then here's what happened though. What really got everything going was I was hearing about this guy who shot a Bigfoot, right?
Yeah.
And I was really interested in it. I was the name wasn't given out or anything. And I was I started digging and everything, and I found this other guy's blog, and he revealed the name. And then come to find out, this guy was just 4 miles away down the road from where I live.
Oh wow.
I was like, are you kidding me? This is I don't know what this is. You know, this is the biggest story of all time, and the guy is 4 miles away.
It's in your backyard, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just kind of fell into everything, you know, and after that we just started talking about it. It's turned into this big story. And you guys heard of the Sierra Kills?
Yes. Huh?
Yeah, Justin Smia.
Yep.
So, yep, and he was just 4 miles down the road. I swear, I was like, this is crazy.
Wow.
Did you get the opportunity to talk to him about his experience?
Yeah.
Okay.
Became very good friends with him.
Good.
He's just right there. I mean, go visit him.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and so not only that, you guys know who Al Berry is?
Heard the name, yes.
Heard the name.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
The Sierra Sounds. There's 2 guys, right? Ron Moorhead and Al Berry.
I believe I've heard that. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
They went up to the somewhere in Stanislaus. They don't really reveal the name of the location.
Right.
But this is where they recorded those Bigfoot chatters.
Yes. Okay.
You know?
Yep. I've heard those. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, actually Bigfoot talking. So they got people who analyze these noise, these things talking,
Mm-hmm.
and it's actually a real language.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. They translate into like.
I'll have to
English.
play it for you guys later.
Yeah. It
It's
is
creepy.
incredible. Yeah, it's incredible. Was it like in a canyon or something like that? They was talking from one side to the other, if I remember right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually I know a guy who actually found the place, and this is the secret place.
Okay.
But this guy Al Berry, he died. He passed away 5 years ago.
Okay.
maybe longer. And this guy lived only a few blocks where we were living at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what in the world is this? So this is like the most famous Bigfoot evidence, you know.
It's
And-
kind of a Bigfoot,
Yeah,
a Bigfoot hub around here.
And
Yeah.
this guy that happened to be one of the 2 people who recorded the Sierra Sounds just like a few blocks away, but he passed away of a heart attack or
Oh
something.
gosh. Yeah.
So I don't even know. It's like we're living in some kind of simulation or something.
kind of like a dreamland. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's how we are. That's how we feel about the paranormal too. Because not too far from here is Atchison, Kansas, which has a Sally House, one of the most notorious haunted houses out there, supposedly. Yeah, he's going air quotes haunted, but so we feel the same way. It's like, man, we're very fortunate to be around this so much history and experience things such as the paranormal or even Bigfooting, which we have encountered on our expeditions as well down in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, which we can talk about here just shortly. But yeah, so it's amazing. Like you said, you're sitting on a gold mine basically out there, being close to the action. So
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I don't know what to think. I'm like, you know what? It's just I'll just accept it. But yeah, there's been so many weird things that happened to us though. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin.
Do you have like one of your favorite maybe encounters you've had the pleasure going out, like somewhere, or maybe one that was really kind of terrifying? I know you mentioned kind of Mount Rainier, being out there, and let's start with there. Did you guys have any experiences out in Mount Rainier?
No, and especially because since we had the kids with us,
Oh, true.
we were like, hey, let's get out of here. But because for me, I really, if I get that bad feeling, I get out of places. So probably I'm highly unlikely to ever have a Bigfoot experience because I hear a lot of people say that you get this bad feeling when there's one around, and it's probably has something to do with evolution. Maybe since we evolved near these creatures, we're like,
here comes the hate mail.
warning alert,
Yeah.
Like, watch out, that kind of thing. And for us, for where we live at in California, we do have some predators that you have to deal with. In particular, is mountain lions, and I've been in proximity to mountain lions twice, and I have felt that same sensation. So that people are describing. So without even actually seeing the mountain lion, I find out afterwards that a mountain lion was sighted right there, and so I'm like, oh, okay. So so with that, if I'm out in the woods and I get that feeling, I'm like, okay, it's either definitely a mountain lion or it's something else that my body's picking up on, but I don't want to be here.
Right.
Yeah, Bigfooters, we call that some kind of ultras. It's a sound, like a sound you can't really pick up, detect, but you can feel it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. For where we live at, I'm not sure if you heard, it was like pretty recently, it was on the news. A guy said that he people have been talking about him being attacked by a Bigfoot And I actually, I don't think we ever posted it on our page because the thing is, I actually know precisely where the attack happened, and it's probably a mountain lion.
Oh no.
And for where you're at, or for where this happened at, what'll happen is that you're walking along the trail, and there's some areas where there's a little bit of elevation or big sprawling oak trees that they can get up into.
Right.
And that's where I've experienced those bad feelings. And you like walk underneath a tree, and all of a sudden you just get this terrible feeling. And then you find out later, hey, there's a mountain lion seen between El Manto and Sunrise.
Oh
and
my
you're
gosh.
Like, oh. So where he was attacked at, he said that just something all of a sudden landed on him. I mean, it smashed up the dude's face and everything.
Oh wow.
Because he went face first onto the ground, but most likely it was a mountain lion. So that's why I didn't post that out there, because I was like, okay, that sounds like what a mountain lion would do. You know, poor fella.
Yeah, they're very territorial, so yeah, that makes sense. That does sound like a mountain lion attack possibly, but without being there firsthand, who knows? I mean, you just take it for what it is, I guess. But at least he lived to tell, the tale itself versus, having something bad happen to him, so that's good. Yeah. But that was close to where you guys live also too, where this occurred?
Well, that's where we used to live.
Oh,
we
okay.
used to live in an apartment exactly right across the river from where that happened.
Wow.
It's like you got out just in time.
Yeah, well, that area, it's like one of those things that you go to the grocery store and you're talking to the little checkout guy. He's like, oh yeah, I was hiking along the trail, or I was running along the trail, and I was like, oh, did you hear about the mountain lion? He was like, oh, is that what that was? He was like, I heard something up on the rocks that were above me when I was running past, and I was like, maybe you shouldn't run on that trail.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh my God. No thank you.
Yeah, no, but if mountain lions can give you that sensation, I could guarantee you that a Bigfoot would as well. So that would just make it to where I'm like, no.
I'll blog about it all day, but I won't go out there, right? I don't blame you.
Too.
I'll be behind the scenes too. Very cruel. Anything? Come on. Jump on in.
Well, you're doing so
No.
You're just going to 90 miles an
You know
hour
how I
there.
feel about this topic, so I love this stuff.
You
so.
guys,
I don't know,
you guys are like an old married couple. Come on.
Well, it took forever to get him on the page of Bigfoot, and the rest of everybody.
As soon as I went down to Tahlequah, I was hooked.
Yeah, I know.
Hooked. That's what got Brendan going too. So
Yeah.
More so.
Well, a question I have is, we're always getting people sending us pictures of ghosts, and they want our opinions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And occasionally we get with our buddy Brendan, who's not here tonight. He runs Bigfoot in Kansas. I've gone out in the field with him many times. We've cast prints. We've done a few things. Haven't seen a full-on encounter or anything, but we've seen prints and kind of like the telltale signs of possibly them out there. How do you feel when people send you photographs that's just, the constant fill of blob squatch or, just all this stuff that, how do you get tired of it?
Oh, man. You go first there.
Usually with those kind of people, where I can't see what they're seeing, because I'll look at it and I'm looking and I'm just not seeing it. And if they're still very insistent that there's something there, then I'll be like, hey, if you want me to, I can post it up here publicly and we can see if anybody sees what's going on here. And I'll ask basically the community opinion. But usually I let them know that, hey, sometimes people are kind of rough. But
yes, they are.
Oh yeah. But in general, the people that actually directly message us, for the most part, it's stuff that you can actually see. Maybe it could be kind of a questionable thing, like, is that like a double bear track or something? It could be something more along those lines. It's just not that clear. That's more of what we actually get a lot of. When I'm trying to find videos on YouTube, there are some people where every single video is just nothing but hours upon hours of trees and they're like, look at the mom and the baby right there. And I'm
Yes.
like, okay. And so usually that's where you find those ones. the
Blob squatch. Blob squatch.
Well, that's, go ahead. Sorry, Sean. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've gotten so used to getting these pictures and stuff that I have to be a little skeptical sometimes, you know. But sometimes though, I get some really good ones, you know. Ones where you can actually see like the shoulder and the head and everything. And one way you can find out if it's like if this has any credibility to it at all is if the people sending me these photos, they don't want to have anything to do with it. Right? They're not looking for fame or anything. They just say, hey, can you keep my name out of it? Just tell me what it is, you know. And I mean, that's a recent one we just put up on YouTube. It's the Michigan one or Minnesota.
I can't remember which.
Yeah, it's like
it's like you've got me mixed up now.
Yeah, it's like Michigan.
I think it's Michigan, if I remember right. I think so. That sounds
Is
right.
it Michigan?
I think so.
Yeah. And this guy, he really wants to talk to get somebody to go over there. So I'm trying to find a researcher who wants to go out there and take a look at this place because he's got like four HD quality pictures of this thing.
That's awesome.
And I looked at every single one of those pictures, and I'm like, that's not a bear, and he sounds pretty genuine about it too. So I'm gonna try to get somebody to go over there and take a look because it's one of the clearest picture. And this guy, he doesn't want his name out there or anything, you know. He just wants someone to come take a look,
Sure.
like what we're really seeing. But yeah, I mean, we get so much. We're probably gonna get some tomorrow.
Hopefully so, right? Yeah.
Well, you know, it trickles in. Monday comes, flood, and then it trickles down through Friday, comes Saturday. You'll notice it was a very entertaining Saturday this Saturday on our Facebook page. You know, we've got skunk apes dancing. So
Yes, that was
that's kind of
funny.
what we were down to. But then, you know, Sunday comes around and they start trickling in a little bit more, but Monday's usually the flood, so.
So everybody's out doing their hunting, yep. That's when we do our hunting too on paranormal and everything else in between, so we can relate.
Exactly, well, everybody's got to work, you know?
Yeah.
So, Saturday and Sunday is when you do it.
That's right. Yeah, that's one thing I always found intriguing. Okay, in this day and age, everybody has a cell phone with a camera and pretty decent quality, picture, pixels and HD video and everything capability. Based on our own experiences, everybody's like, when something happens, it's like, why didn't you get a picture of it? Or a video or something. Sometimes you're just dumbfounded in the moment. We've had a couple of experiences where we were very certain that we saw Bigfoot himself,
Right.
checking out our camp, and I think in the moment we were just looking at this thing and saying, "What are we staring at? Is this what I think it is?" And then it's like, "Hey, dummy, you have a camera, 2 feet from you." Grab it and take a
First of all,
picture.
it was 2 a.m.
Well, yeah,
So,
yeah, that too. That was one time, yeah.
And you guys were in the woods, and you guys were in an RV,
Right.
just kind of going over equipment, and it happened so fast.
It did. It happened to blink of an eye. I mean, what triggered it was we were on a property down with it's on Indian land, the Cherokee Nation, and we were down there as guests, and we basically we were just going like I said, some of us had broken up to go to a location on property but separate from where we were at. And most of us stayed, like 3 of us stayed around, and what triggered it was they have 2 big, what are they? Pit bulls.
Yes.
On the land that protect us. They don't know us, but they protect anybody human that comes on the land from any kind of danger. They alert you, whatever, and they were quiet the whole time we were there, except for the very last evening. And we were sitting there talking, and they just started going, haywire, like growling and barking and just rearing up. We're like, what is going on? So we turned the lights off in the RV inside to look out to see what was going on, and that's when Brendan, who runs Bigfoot in Kansas, go ahead, sorry.
These dogs are used to being out there. I mean, they're rough and tough. They're not scared of anything off it. We've been down there many times over the years and had never seen them react like this.
Right.
in any way.
Yeah, so we were like, what, alerted us to what are they looking at, and they kept going to a certain area. So Brendan, who runs Bigfoot in Kansas, looks over and sees a thing crouching in
like
some
about 20 feet away.
Yeah, just checking this out. So we're checking this thing out, and as soon as we opened the door to go out there to chase after, the thing was off. In the woods, and where it ran was impossible for us to trek through. Number one, because a lot of overgrowth, and it made its way pretty easy through it. So we go to the spot it was standing in the grass, because it was starting to rain a little bit, were two perfectly shaped feet that were obviously weren't human, and you can see where the heaviness of it was. Where it stood, the grass was raising up just a little bit because it was wet. The impressions were there, and it's just like, wow, was that what we thought we saw? Once again, it was like we didn't hear any kind of the howling, the moaning. We didn't hear any yelps at the time. We didn't hear any rock throwing, other than it checking us out and the dog was going crazy at the time. So
yeah.
But once again, we didn't use our cameras or anything. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can never be too ready. I mean, when I first went up to the site where Justin shot these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, but he shot it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we all have our cameras. Okay. We have like basically a camera crew up there, and so me and my friend, we're sleeping in the tent. He's got his camera. We sleep with his camera. I got my camera equipped with night vision and everything,
mm-hmm.
and I was like half asleep. All of a sudden, we hear this doom, 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 like bipedal around our camp.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, and he was like, my friend was like, get up. I was like, oh, what's going on? And he's like, get up! So he rushes outside, and I was like, oh, okay, just give me 1 more minute, Mom.
Right. I don't want to go to school today.
Yeah. Mom, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Like,
right.
Yeah, and it's like I never had anything happen before.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, this is probably just it's probably just a film, just like a film thing. You just want to catch something on film, like whatever,
Right.
But so these guys are running after this thing, okay? Okay, there's like 2 people up running after this thing, and my friend didn't see me get up. And he comes back and said, are you coming? I said, okay. So I was like taking my time, like, what the heck is wrong with these guys, right? So they told me what happened. They told me that something came to the camp,
mm-hmm.
and it took off, and they tried chasing after it. They actually saw it. They're trying to catch it on film.
Right.
And what's crazy was that I just went back to the tent after I heard the story, and I was like, whatever, right? So I wake up in the morning. These guys are like already up, super excited. I don't even think they slept. Okay?
Probably not.
I was sleeping like a baby. So I got up at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and there are tracks, footprint tracks, and these guys are just talking about it, and they were casting the tracks, and I was like, what the hell? This is like the most important night ever,
uh-huh.
And I acted like it was like no, like.
You felt sleep was more important that night, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, even when things were happening around me, I didn't even pay attention. I just like whatever,
Right.
But when I woke up and saw them casting footprints, I was like, man, I should have stayed up and just do something. I don't know.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. Well, that happened to us too. Our very first experience was probably like 2011, I think,
mm-hmm.
when we went down to Tahlequah, and we were there to hunt for ghosts. Well, and this property we stay on, we were briefed that said, okay, there is paranormal activity there, but they have such things as possibly Bigfooting, possibly UFOs, possibly, they said little witches that fly off. I'm thinking, okay, paranormal's one thing, but all these other stories, I'm like, that seemed a little bit too much story-like for me. But I went down there with an open mind, and we definitely got more than we could, chew off, especially when it comes to, Bigfooting. We saw, big tracks everywhere. We saw, the thing that really impressed me was the fact that on the foot itself, one of the digits was broken sideways, like it got injured out there in the field sometime. And they were, on the main path. They were off the beaten path, and one of them led off to where this bluff was probably, I don't know how far you say down, maybe 30, 40 feet. Would have been a huge fall probably.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So if it did fall, you would expect to see, a corpse down there or something, and it was nothing there. So this thing made that possible jump and ran off.
Right.
And we were having things. We were camped out in the middle of property. We were having all kinds of activity, from growling to rock throwing to knocks to yelps all night long. That majority of us heard it, and we caught some of it, on audio at the time. And it was, when we heard it, I know Jason and I heard one of our most famous ones that we heard, and it's him, myself, and Brendan. And I look at them guys and I go, "What the?" The first colorful language I could think of was the F-bomb. What the F was that? Did you guys hear that? And it was loud. It was just dumb. We were dumbfounded. It's just like, holy crap! Were we hearing what we thought we were hearing?
I was hoping for it.
And I left that day, leaving camp, or that next day when we came back to Kansas. I left becoming a believer in Bigfooting, or Bigfoot himself. And Brendan thought enough of it that he said, "I'm going to start Bigfooting Kansas."
Right.
At that time, and that was 2011. So we've been.
Well, we heard that vocalization in the middle of the night. Was that the same trip that you're talking
about?
Yeah,
the very first one. That was the first one.
Holy crap! So and this was. I've actually got that clip pulled up here. So we heard this. Let me get to it here, and hope it plays right, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it.
We want your take on these things. See what you guys think.
Okay, where'd my deal go there? There it is. Okay, so. So we heard this in the middle of the night. If it pulls in and plays, it doesn't look like it's going to, so what's the problem? Hang on. Well, anyway, I thought I had that worked out, but I was trying to be real dramatic with it, and it didn't work out. So
we will, if we can't get to play tonight, we'll email it to you guys, let you guys hear it, so you can give us your take on it, see what you think, because couple of us, like Jeremiah himself, is very outdoorsy. He was out there with no tent, sleeping on next to the fire in just a sleeping bag when this is all going on, and I am
21 degrees out.
Yeah, and I'm bundled up in a tent, and 10 layers of clothes. Every little noise, I'm jumping up like, what was that? Because I'm a light sleeper, and
I slept like a baby all through the night, missed it.
But yeah, we were hearing all this activity all night, and I think also what really compelled me was when we went out in the field the next day when it was sunny enough to see what was going on. We saw all these tree bends that you see, down not on the main path, going down this road, like it was their way of finding their way across the property. We found all the footprints, but at the time we weren't casting things because we weren't into it as much. But now that we are, we use casts of that magnitude. Yeah. But then we also noticed all these little makeshift huts. They were, because the property sits kind of angled down on this hill towards the main property where the brothers live in these houses. And we noticed there was one kind of sitting here, one down here, one down here, one down here. Like they were getting closer to the property to watch whoever was the occupants on the land. And it blew my mind. I mean, I didn't know what to think after I walked away, other than I became a believer of Sasquatch that day. And it was incredible.
I've actually got that pulled up now.
Okay.
If hopefully it'll come across and you guys will be able to hear it. So I'll send this over, and then tell us what you guys think of this.
Footprints. But at the time we weren't casting things because we weren't into it as much. But now that we are, we use casts of that magnitude. Yeah. But then we also noticed all these little makeshift huts. They were, because the property sits kind of angled down on this hill towards the main property. Closer to the property to watch whoever was the occupants.
Well, I was getting echoes through there, but
I didn't know what to come across. I became a believer of Sasquatch.
It did come across.
Right.
Incredible.
I've actually got that pulled up now.
Okay.
hopefully it'll come across and you guys will be able to hear it. So I'll send this over, and then tell us what you guys think of this.
But at the time we weren't casting things, we weren't into it as much, but now that we are, we use cast.
Maybe you guys.
And then we also noticed all the
that was actually the exact sound that we heard. What we actually heard, that's the closest likeness that we've been able to find to what we heard. That was actually a recording of silverback gorilla roaring.
We cross-referenced Robert. Jeremiah.
Well, I was getting echoes through there, but
Not really.
Right. Well, I've actually got that pulled up now.
He's an hunter.
Right. Well, come across and you guys will be able to hear it. So, tell us what you guys think of this.
Not much going on.
Right.
Have you guys done cast animal audio?
That was actually the exact sound I heard. What we actually that's the closest likeness that we've been able to find to what we heard. That was actually a silverback gorilla roaring.
That's not very common.
Yeah. Well, I was getting echoes through there, but I've actually got that pulled up now.
He's an hunter.
You guys will be able to hear it. Tell us what you guys think of this.
Not much going on.
Right.
Have you guys done cast animal audio?
That was actually the exact sound I heard. What we actually that's the closest likeness that we've been able to find that was actually silverback gorilla roaring. I tell you what, that Oh, yeah. Sorry, that's my fault.
Okay.
It should get better now.
Okay.
I forgot to hit a switch here.
Okay. Sorry about that, people at home. I was gonna check it out and see how bad it was, but you got it fixed. Good.
Yeah, it should be fixed now.
Okay.
So, here we go. We'll try this again. Why is it doing that?
Huh.
Okay. I've got some weird settings going on here. You guys keep talking. Let me play with the settings a little bit. Maybe I can get this worked out.
I tell you what, any vocalization is actually very rare. I mean, when you go look on YouTube, you look for a Bigfoot vocalization. Probably one of the first things that come up is the Sierra sounds, and probably the Ohio scream. Okay, I mean it's so rare. It's not that many, And if you do capture something like that actually sounds like chatter or any kind of communication, it's big. It's big. I mean, it's if you catch anything that sounds like that, you guys ought to play the Sierra sound for your audience. I mean, it's the creepiest thing.
This is what we did catch that night is what we did catch that night is not like a vocalization, but it's more of an actual breathing, like a large heavy animal breathing in the middle of camp. And prior to that, it's not in the clip that I'm trying to play for you guys right now, but prior to that, there's actually large, like heavy bipedal footprints that can be heard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Then okay, so all of this is like all happening in one trip, on one expedition out there and stuff.
The sighting and the breathing, yes.
Ooh, that's a lot of stuff.
We were out there for 3 nights.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's impressive because there's sometimes I go up there, stay there for like almost 2 weeks. I don't get anything, dude. I mean,
and this is the same location, and we went there 5 different times over the course since 2011. The first time was the night we heard yells and screams while we were sleeping and trying to sleep, and then we were hearing wood knocks that sounded like it was coming from either angle,
like it was answering each other. Yeah.
And possible shadows. I mean, we heard walking around in the woods. That could have been anything, but the next morning when we saw the footprints in the mud, I mean, the prints were huge. You could see the toes. You could see it all. And that was our first trip. But that last trip, the last time we were out there, 2015, 3 nights, and we had all this activity that was happening.
Wow.
So it's like it's almost like I don't know if they continue to come through there all the time, or if there's, that's their home. Not sure, but.
See, and this place we're talking about down there, it was so much activity with the Bigfooting, with the paranormal, with the whole history behind that, because it's where the Trail of Tears ends, in Oklahoma, and so it's such a bevy of activity from all different types that it got actually turned into a book that's out there for sale that's called The Agony That Remains. It tells the story of the history of these brothers on the land, all their history behind it, the activity they've had, and what we were able to capture down there also too. So
we didn't write the book.
No,
so.
It's one of our friends out of Kansas City, Brandon Callahan, an author, wrote it, who actually experienced it with us too. So that's why when we say all this activity is happening, it was a hot spot. I mean, and I'm not sure how you feel about ley lines and all that stuff, but it's one of the areas where ley lines intersect down in this area. So
yeah, I hear about that.
Okay.
I hear that this is the theory they use these landlines for communication.
Mm-hmm.
Like you knock on one end of the landline pole.
About ley lines.
Ley lines, yeah, I'm sorry, ley lines.
Oh.
But yes, they do landlines also too.
Why don't you ask him? He can explain.
What are ley lines again?
Okay. Ley lines it's basically a kind of spiritual roadmap where all these different types of, it can run rivers, it can run with like they think like just from Tahlequah itself, it kind of would draw a line basically. It would draw to like Stonehenge basically. It would draw to this area. It would draw to that area. It's kind of like a roadmap, but there's straight lines where things intersect. They seem like the activity has been documented over the years that a lot of weird things happen. I mean, it's kind of a. I'm not the most forefront expert on it, but I know a little bit about it.
It has to do with geomagnetics, and that's all I really know about them. But
you would know it as magnetic fields. That's what you kind of refer to it as.
Okay.
But other people call it ley line.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right.
I tell you what, there's some strange things that happen up there. Okay, I'll tell you this.
Please.
This location. It's like it's in the middle of nowhere, and there's only one place where you get that cell phone reception. There's one little square feet of area, but everywhere else you can't. You don't have any. But I'm almost convinced that there's something going on up there where this guy shot the Bigfoot. But there's couple nights you would see lights up in the trees. Okay.
Okay.
And we're not UFO researchers. Okay. We're
right.
not. But when we see weird stuff like that hovering around the trees, we just look at it. Okay, we just look at it. We're like, what is that? You know?
Right.
And we try, some of us try to dismiss it as drones.
Okay.
But no one goes up there. No one knows we're going to be up there.
Mm-hmm.
Why would drones be up there just hovering around? Okay.
Exactly.
And I'm not supposed to talk about that.
No, you're fine. That's funny. That's funny you say that because down in Tahlequah, we set some cameras up out in the woods to running from our DVR. And one of the trips previously, we put some glow sticks out there to see if it would attract Bigfoot or somebody out there in front of this camera. Now, one of our last trips we were out there, I know that Jason had some, and I thought he put them out because you talked about glowing lights. I look to my left, I see these glowing lights in the trees, and I'm like, oh, Jason, they put the glow sticks up. And I'm walking, and I'm thinking, wait a minute. Where I was proximity-wise, I was nowhere near that trail where we had the camera set up again.
Right.
And I read out to Jason. I said, "Hey, you guys put the glow sticks out again?" And he's like, "No, I totally forgot about them actually." So I saw what you're talking about, these lights, in the tree lines, and that's one of the phenomenon that the brothers down there in Tahlequah experience also too over the years. They kept calling them UFO lights because they see them in their front yard. And you're right, same thing. We're not UFO hunters, but we do. Dive into it every now and then.
Right.
And it's like, what are we seeing, honestly?
Yeah.
We call them ghost lights. We call them whatever, because they're giving off this radiant, natural energy that's glowing in pitch blackness, and they're different colors.
Right.
We noticed. Did you notice any certain colors on yours by chance?
Okay, so there's a couple of people who saw him. I wasn't there that night.
Oh, okay. I missed that part. Sorry.
But there's a he works for the he's like a sheriff. Ranger. He's a ranger.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a ranger. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
he's a skeptic. He's supposed to be a skeptic.
Right.
That's why we bring him up there so he can try to dismiss everything. Okay.
Perfect.
We need him to dismiss these things.
Mm-hmm.
But he was actually staring at it. This is what I was told for several minutes. And while other people were just was like, "What in the world is that?" And he's just like, "Oh well, I don't know what that is. I saw it. I just tell you, I saw it. I mean,
it's swamp gas, right?" Everybody dismisses
like
it right away.
This is what in the middle of nowhere.
I know exactly. That's how we felt down there too. It's like no logical explanation of what these lights were.
No.
We actually caught some on camera, luckily, because the fact that we were out in a cemetery on this Indian land, and they were just there. Everybody in our team saw them, but we saw them at different locations. That was funny because we were pointing there they are, and somebody's pointing this way. I see them. They're this way, and we're like, no, wait, it's over, and it's just every direction. And it was, it wasn't inside the cemetery itself. It was on the outside of it. Like it was,
right.
Didn't make sense. Didn't fit any kind of formula. It just was there.
Yeah.
So that's funny you say about park rangers also too, because we do some research on this stuff, and everybody says you need to talk to the park ranger of this property, that especially got at Yellowstone or somewhere and up in the hills, because they're out there all the time. They know the land like the back of their hand, and here they're getting all these weird stories and weird experiences, but they're not supposed to talk about it, but if you ask,
but there are all of these places that are putting up warning Bigfoot signs all of a sudden, so
Yeah, I've seen them.
Awesome.
They're pretty entertaining. I know some of them are ones that people make at home, and they like go up there and try to have fun with that. But I guess there are some things that seem a little bit more legitimate.
Well, there's one on, and I don't know, there may be some sort of a joke behind it, but there is one on the Pikes Peak Toll Highway in Colorado. It's been there. The first time I saw it was before I even started getting into the paranormal. I still lived in Colorado, and I was on my way up there on a fishing trip one day, and saw this. The creature the creature widely known as Bigfoot has been sighted in this area. Please be careful, or something like that. So,
a lot of times these rangers they're told to suppress this information. Even if those I talked to a researcher. He lives over here in Fremont, and you guys know William Jevning? Yeah, he's pretty famous now, but he's written like a book and stuff. Anyways, he's there was one time they had footprints in this area, and he was talking to some rangers about this, and the next day it was gone. He wiped it out. He's like, what happened to those tracks, But it's like it's almost as if they were told to clean this up,
Wow.
Wow.
And this, it's like I don't know why they want to hide this.
Got to keep the mass hysteria from breaking out.
Right.
Yeah. People don't. Yeah.
So do you think that if they did openly come out, people from all over would just flood that place?
Can you imagine people coming out and wanting to trophy shoot or whatever?
So
who knows?
You got to figure. Just given the fact that it's been all this time and there are so few sightings and so little evidence, this has to be an endangered species to begin with.
Well, in some areas they're registered as you cannot hunt these because.
But
why put them on there?
That's what poachers do. So if they came out and openly admit that it exists, it would at least be functionally extinct before long.
You're right.
That's my thought on it. Right.
Well, and plus nobody. What are they? Are they ape? Are they human? Are they whatever? So you're am I shooting a guy that's been living out on the land for thousands or hundreds of years, and next thing I know I'm killing this guy, and that's murder. And doing a stick. Yeah. So
who knows?
Yeah.
So
yep. So were you gonna play something? I'm sorry, I know we got off on a tangent, so I apologize.
You're fine. You're fine.
And if you don't want to, we don't have to.
Well, I'm afraid I'm really gonna mess with the audio.
Okay.
We can just email it to you.
Yeah, we'll send it to you guys.
We'll email it to you. So
you can check it out because it's interesting, and maybe you'll say, "Oh, I know what that is. It's blah blah blah." And we're like, "Oh, we never thought about that."
Right.
So that's why we. Go ahead.
Well, and this was the the heavy breathing thing that you said you got, right?
Yeah. One of them.
Yes.
Yep, one of them. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I find it interesting. You've got a Bigfoot that's watching you guys. Mm-hmm. You've got the heavy breathing. Which one of you guys was out there wearing Axe cologne?
Well,
yeah, right.
It was Roth. It's always Roth.
Well, that's funny you say that because what we have in front of us now. This a little bit. One of our friends from North Carolina, we poked fun out of it. It's called Bigfooting juice. It's supposed to attract possibly Bigfoot. We haven't tested it yet in the field, but we're gonna on Roth. And basically,
You guys really need to test that out there. You need to go to that place, wear that cologne, and see what happens. I mean, make sure to come with full body protection just in case. That can be scary.
we have a guinea pig. Roth in place. He's not gonna know. Like, hey, Roth, how you doing, buddy? Spray, walk away. Like, camera on him all night.
What you need to do is you need to take one person, spray him with the Bigfoot juice. One person you need to spray with Axe body spray. Because you need to take a guy and get him some really good Chanel cologne.
Don't forget the Jack Link's beef jerky now.
Yes.
One person with Jack Link's beef jerky, and then another person just wrap donuts around your neck. Which one of you guys get good footage?
I'll be in the car filming everything. Don't worry, guys. We're safe.
Let's go off in different
Only
directions.
one person has to live to tell the story, and that's going to be me. So, yeah. So, no, that's funny. Have you guys used anything like that as far as bait? I mean, to try to trigger something out?
Well, so...
And if you don't want to tell your secrets, you don't have to. I just was curious.
No. I'll tell you. One of the baits we tried, my friend tried, was he's got a secret sauce. It smells so good. It smells like old man's bad breath.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's so bad, and he's sprinkling it all over the tree stumps and everything.
Oh no.
And around our camp area. And but we tried everything. I tried taking crawdads up there.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some crawdad shells up there. And that's the stinkiest stuff, after I tried that. But you know what? I don't know what works anymore.
Remember that one night though you were speaking in your native language?
Oh yeah. That was I brought Asian food up there one time.
Okay.
I always bring noodles up there. And we decided to try something because it was a very quiet week. And I said, guys, that I was telling the group, I was like, when you guys listen to the Sierra sound, they sound almost like a Asian in a way. It sounds like Japanese samurais talking. Right?
That's why it's got that
yeah.
samurai chatter.
So I said, I'm gonna try this, guys, because I'm Laotian. I'm gonna try speaking my language. I'm gonna yell out, come eat and stuff in my language. And I did that for several minutes, right? And something happened it was midnight. Okay, so we decided to go up this road up, and most of the team was already sleeping around the campfire, and me and my friend Bart decided to go up this road, and he has this thermal imager, just scanning. He's always on his thermal imager scanning. Yeah, to me, I'm too poor.
Yep.
So but I did have my camera, which I turned into an infrared camera.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because there's this thing you can buy for your flashlight. It's like a infrared filter. What is it?
Yeah, it's an infrared filter.
Yeah, and you put it on the lens of your flashlight. I got a pretty high power flashlight, and
nice. And
it shines the light out, but you can't see it with your naked eye. Okay? But Bigfoot, they can see it. Some say they can see this light.
Sure.
But for me, I'm like, okay, since I can't see it, they probably can. But there's a lot of Bigfoot hunters out there that I was with. It's like they could see the light because they avoid the trail camp, the game camps.
Right.
The game camps have this. They all have this infrared light that's flashing to see if there's a detecting motion. You don't really see this, okay, with your naked eye. But my friend has a third generation night vision.
Okay.
And you can put this on and go walk up next to that game camp. It's at night, okay? It's pitch black. I don't see anything coming. But I put on this goggle, third generation. It's $20,000.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
I put it on, and sure enough, I can see the light flashing, the infrared light. I was like, wow, this is crazy. So anyways, I'm going back to this road, and so I keep trying to use it because I don't have a thermal imager. But so my friend keeps saying, "Dude, turn it off. You're scaring the Bigfoots away." I was like, oh well, I was like kind of upset because I bought all these equipment and everything. So, but anyways, I'll follow you, okay? So we walk up the road, and he's looking down the road to this like a 50-foot drop or something like that down the hill, and he said, "Dude, I think I see something." And I said, "What?" He said, "Hold on, let me look." And he starts describing these things, walking on two legs, like walking over tree stumps and everything. I said, "Are you kidding me, dude?" And I got scared because I'm not supposed to. I'm not supposed to experience all this because I'm still pretty fresh. I'm a greenhorn,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, my heart's like beating real fast. But this guy's seen a Bigfoot, okay? So he's like, and he's determined to get some kind of evidence. But anyways, so he sees it going back and forth. At one point, he recorded throwing a rock and everything, and he recorded all this, all my just scared, my terrified, thoughts going through my head, and so we caught like a minute worth of footage, okay? And you look at Sierra footage or something on YouTube, it's still up.
Okay.
You can see Phil Poling, Harold Breakdown has a documentary about this footage.
Wow.
And analyzes everything. Like, it's really tall, 8 feet tall. We got a really tall guy to come with us to go take the measurements. And this guy's tall. He has to stand on a cooler to get this height. And this guy's tall. How tall is he?
Probably like 6 something.
Yeah, he has to stand on top of the cooler.
He's tall.
Yeah, but that night though, I was talking in my native language,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, that's what happened.
Well, for me, like when I hear him having a conversation with his mom and his dad, it actually sounds a lot like the Sierra sounds to me because it's kind of a different tones to it and stuff, and for the language, if you like follow where it's come through, if you do like the DNA stuff, it shows like his family comes from like the way back, prehistoric people come from like Nepal and stuff. So, Yeti area.
Right.
But so with that, I don't know. For me, it makes sense that he should be out there speaking his language out there, to maybe kind of call it in because it sounds very familiar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds very familiar to me too.
That makes sense.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Yeah. Very cool.
And well, I mean, hey, Annie, why don't you say, I don't know.
Bigfoot juice.
There's no word for Bigfoot.
Or you can say, come and eat, like you said that night, maybe.
Bigfoot juice.
Why don't you say, hey, monkey, come eat?
Ling makin. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but if I say it like in like an angry way,
Ling makin. Now back to the noodles. That sounded good right now. You're making my stomach hungry over here. How'd that work out with the food? Did it attract anything?
Yeah, that's the thing is that no one knows what really works, but in my experience that worked. You know David Paulides is? Mm-hmm. Okay, I talked to him on the phone, right? I was like talking about Bigfoot and stuff, and I said, hey, did Bigfoot kidnap all these people? Because he wrote that book, Missing 411.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
I said, did Bigfoot really kidnap these people? He said, I never mentioned Bigfoot. Wait, don't say it's Bigfoot. I guess that's not his book. His book's not about Bigfoot. I thought it was about Bigfoot. I didn't read his book, but he said, listen, dude. He said, listen. Here's what I know about Bigfoot. He says, the more you think you know about, he said, Bigfoot's like women. The more you think you know about women, the less you know.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
It makes sense too. Yeah, very true.
With that footage that they took up there, where he says that he was like sounding scared in the audio and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is with that, I know this crazy person, and he's crazy, and this is the guy who, along with his friends, chased a freaking bear and her cubs away from a pickup truck with sticks.
What?
So if he is like having uneasy feelings, that says a lot to me.
Wow.
Yeah. Somebody decided to put the meat locker in somebody's truck, and the bear was trying to pry it open, and they're like, "Save the truck!" And so they're chasing a mama bear and her cubs.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I can't believe it. So dumb.
I was gonna say, I wouldn't have done that either. I'd have ran the other way on that case, but
yeah, but with him, that he just normally he doesn't have that kind of fear. And same thing, like he hikes out there on the PCT. He's out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there's video of this guy hiking through a bomb ordnance area in the middle of the night. He's like, "Oh, hey, look at there, it's bomb ordnances." He's not the type to get like that kind of scared. So for me, hearing him how scared he was on there, it was very convincing for me that there was something abnormal.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would say so too. But yet he chased a bear with a stick. Connect the dots there. What's wrong with that picture?
Oh, that's awesome.
I have a question overall. I know you guys, I wish Brendan was here to debate this with us, because he has his stance on things. But
you're reading my mind. I know exactly.
I'm a mind reader. That's why. I'm kidding. But where do you feel Bigfoot crosses over? I mean, is it just is it what it is? Is it
hold on.
Okay.
So the fact that I've actually been out in the field, which a lot of these guys right here have not. I'll just say that. I've been out with Brendan.
Right.
We've gone out hiking in the woods, out in the wilderness, all here in Kansas. We've seen tracks, we've seen the structures, we've collected hair that we believe. We haven't had it tested yet, so it could be not. But you have all this, so we feel like it is an actual physical being,
right?
Not some. And I'll let you take over.
No. Okay.
Go ahead. So what do you guys think, and where do you think that it crosses over? Because there's so much debate on the possibility that it is a spiritual being, that's why it disappears so fast, or it's connected to the UFO, so it's an alien, or it's passing through like another dimension. Interdimensional creature, stuff like that. We get in kind of heated arguments about this. We've had it here in the studio here. So, So what's your thoughts?
For me, I think that and the thing is I will say it's about everything actually, is that I think that we kind of attribute all these really extremely what some people would call more of a fringe idea to. It's just stuff that we lack understanding of. So. We may find out that, ghosts are maybe as organic of a thing to our environment as maybe a Bigfoot is. And same thing with aliens and stuff. I mean, it could be that that's all just part of it. And right now we're still in like a primitive understanding of those things. So maybe for us, Bigfoot, it feels more organic to us because it's something that we've encountered for a long time. And as our understanding goes along, maybe we'll find out with ghosts that, it's just something that maybe it's here, they're here all the time, but maybe we're not able to see them all the time because of our lack of, certain visual ranges. So I don't know, with me, I just kind of look at it as that everything's possible, and it could possibly end up being explained at some point through very natural and normal means of our environment.
Yeah.
This guy goes into more crazy stuff though.
No. Please tell us. I like it.
I think these things are very rare. Even even when you do see them, you probably dismiss them as bears. You're like, oh, that's a bear, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see them quickly. I mean, it's so rare that that when people see it one time, they want to see it again. They want to see it so bad, right? They keep going to the same spot. And I think that's the mistake that people make, is that, oh, I saw it here, I'm gonna keep going there, but you don't know if it's just used as a route, as a gaming route, a game trail. You don't know that, and I think what happens over time is that you do get obsessed about these things after you see them,
Oh yeah.
And you know what can happen to people when they get obsessed? I mean, they're just like, okay, where are they now? Like, why? This is where I saw them. Why aren't they here anymore? But just like human beings, we move around all the time. When primitive, look at the Amazon tribe. They move after they exhausted the area, with food and animal and everything. They move to a different location, and they come back years later.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And you always hear about them being Bigfooting, being nomadic creatures. Possibly, they find that they follow that tendency, which makes sense. They follow, river, along river lines. They follow where the food is at. It does make sense. So, as far as them on the move constantly, which maybe that's why they're hard to see.
Well, with that, if you think about it, I mean, for a lot of European people, they were doing farming for quite some time, but in actuality, for the U.S., people lived a nomadic life. That kind of lifestyle is actually very, very natural. And I think that for a lot of people, they live in their houses, they live in their apartment. They're like, this is my home. I feel comfortable here. So they assume that maybe these creatures have a home, a place that they go home and bunker down to and cuddle up with.
Right.
But maybe fail to realize that a different lifestyle is very comfortable for these creatures.
Yeah. I mean, you see these shelters. I mean, it's probably just like a one-night thing or two-night thing for them and move on.
I agree with that.
Yeah. It's not like they're gonna come back.
Right.
I mean, you put a trail cam there, you're never gonna see them.
Yeah, that makes sense. We've used trail cams out there. Didn't capture a thing. Yeah.
Right.
Not even a deer or anything out there. So they're smart creatures. I mean, even if whether it be a deer, I mean, they know better to come back to the same location unless the food source is there. Then they may come back. If you keep feeding them, then they'll come back. Obviously, but they go where the food is. They go where what makes sense. For their habitat. Excuse me.
Yeah. I mean, when people think of Bigfoot as spiritual beings, I can agree with that too, because it does create a spiritual connection to it. I think after you see them. After you have some kind of encounter with them, there's something there. I think there's got to be some kind of connection.
Well, and they've seen these creatures. It's all part of like Native American history. I mean, they talk about it a lot.
They found them in caves. With hieroglyphics, like I talked to you about off camera. Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
I mean, I posted up on our page not too long ago some petroglyphs that are up in Utah. Right. And it's got a guy with big old feet. Well, it could be a lady, but huge feet. Then there's another little. There's a little figure with a discombobulated head with like feet. That's a little strange creature. And then there's like this little ball inside of a ball with feet inside of it, and so it's they've been seeing some strange things walking around on 2 feet, out there. For the Native Americans, that's what they've been seeing. And it's not like these people who are doing these petroglyphs, it's not like they were horrible artists, because all the other figures have normal sized feet. I mean, they were able to put a lot of detail, but this particular one had massive feet.
Right.
So it's not like it's oops, I messed up sort of thing.
This was the one with the beheading.
Oh yeah,
beheaded.
It was in a scene where it's the panel that I think it's either next to or immediately in, but it's a whole bunch of beheadings with like blood dripping and stuff like that. It's a pretty violent panel. It's it's the McConkey Ranch in Utah. It's near Dinosaur National Monument. It's pretty close. I think it's Vernalis Utah. I want to say that's the name of it. But it's really, really cool petroglyphs, and yeah, they've clearly got big feet.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so they've
Yeah.
been seeing it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, with the spiritual stuff, as I had mentioned with the bad feelings that people have, if you think about it, like when people talk about ghost hunting, the difference between maybe one person and a person who is a psychic is that they're a little more sensitive. Maybe these people that are out there in the woods, they're just more sensitive to what I perceive as a negative feeling in the area. Maybe for them, it's a little deeper for them.
Kind of a primal instinct or something.
Right.
Yeah, they have a primal instinct on steroids.
Right. So, I've always belonged to the school of thought that the Bigfoot or Sasquatch or whatever you want to call them is it's an undiscovered species of North American great ape. That's just always been my thought on it. But one thing I've always found fascinating is how there is some research, or does seem to be some research, that indicates that the incidents of UFO sightings and ghost encounters and other paranormal things tend to increase when Bigfoot is around or Bigfoot is spotted. Mm-hmm. And so what are y'all's thoughts on that?
Well, for me, some of the things that I've been seeing is, the areas that people report seeing a lot of Bigfoot stuff. There's also a lot of people reporting lights and stuff like that. If you want to look at it from like a scientific point of view, there's reports that along fault lines, the kind of friction, stuff like that, it really charges up. It's kind of like the like the northern lights, and you might be able to see those kind of things, like little discharges of light. So it could be that maybe they're attracted to that area, and and then those events happen to occur in those areas at the same time. Or it could be that there's just something out there that is greater than us, like we live in a simulation.
Yeah, me and her, we argue about that all the time.
He always says we're in a simulation, and I'm like, okay, if we're in a simulation, there's someone that controls it, and I'm like, AKA, and most people, we call that God.
We banned that talk in the house.
Because when you hear people talk about it, they call it they talk about a greater being in control, creating things, and then you have people who say they don't believe in God, but they believe that they're in a simulation. And I'm like, okay, maybe people are using different words to describe the same person.
Right.
Basically something that is controlling our environment.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I come at, but. Simulation.
But yeah, I think there's something to that that UFO thing, because I don't think it's a coincidence at all that this really active location where we're at had lights, just flying over trees. I don't think it's coincidence. I think something weird. It's really creepy when you go up there. Got this weird vibe to it. Maybe those weird vibes open you up to more things, maybe where you can be more sensitive to things. Maybe that's why we're seeing these lights. Maybe that's why we're just seeing all these activities. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's vibrating your energies to make you available to it.
Yeah. Could very well be, yeah, definitely. I know there's a lot of debate over different things of, okay, if Bigfoot's out there, why hasn't anybody captured him on more footage of the bodies, whatever? Why isn't there carcasses laying around? Well, it goes the same thing. I mean, with other animals. Do you ever see a lot of animals out there, like deer, elk, laying around?
No, I was hiking the PCT, 40 miles of the PCT a couple months ago. I didn't see a single dead animal.
Exactly.
Come on.
It's called the food chain. I mean, there's other animals out there that are going to feed off these things. Maybe take it coyotes to whatever. You know, going to take these bodies, these carcasses, and it's a feast for somebody, possibly. I mean, that's the theory behind it. That's why people are like, well, that means Bigfoot can't exist. There's no evidence, like, body-wise. Now, I know there's been some feeble attempts out there to say they've had them in coolers and whatever else. I shot one or whatever, but, I mean, I'm not here to knock that, but, it makes sense why there's no carcasses out. Like you said, on your hike, you didn't see one thing out there, and you're there.
Yeah, 40 miles, 4 days. Didn't see a single dead animal. And I know there's animals up there. There's deer up there and everything.
Right.
Where's the carcass? Where's not even a dead mice?
Right.
Yeah.
Whenever I have somebody ask me that through Facebook or through email, my favorite thing to respond to them is I always send them the NASA nightlight map. And I send that to them, and I'm like, okay, look in this area. This is Northern California. There's nothing out there except for an occasional house here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And California is huge.
Right.
I mean, you can go out there, and if you never want to be seen again, you can truly disappear and never be seen again.
Wow.
I think for a lot of people, they don't understand that concept of how open some of these places are. There's just areas where if you go out there and you get lost in the woods, you're screwed. That's it. That's the end of you. Game over, because there's the chances somebody finding you, they're not.
This is why I stay.
Am I scaring you out of the woods?
Oh no, I got scared years ago.
He wasn't going into him anyway, so.
I mean, even if you find a river, like if you're pretty high up in the mountains,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you can go find a river, but you're gonna have to walk a really long time until you get down there. And hey, maybe you might be one of those lucky people that meets a bear or a mountain lion. You're a good little snack. People just don't understand how empty these areas that people report Bigfoot in as being. And then if you take that, it's so empty. And then if something dies out there, the chances of seeing it is just, it's like a needle in a haystack, and you don't have the maximum thing.
Yeah, you know what the most amazing thing is that you'd be surprised how many people have a Bigfoot story. Like, we were at a Starbucks, we're here by our house, okay? And she's working on Squatchable, talking with her fans on Facebook and everything. And then a lady looked over and saw her watching Bigfoot videos. And she's like, oh, you do Bigfoot, whatever. And she explained what she did. And she's like, oh, I saw a Bigfoot. I was like, really? And she goes, yeah, I have a report on, and she describes to us the report, and we looked it up, and and there it is, her report. I was like, what are the odds?
And the thing is, that report, she submitted it back in 1997, but before I showed her that I found it, she told me her whole story. It didn't change.
Great.
Her story was still the same. And she was like, oh, I really haven't thought much about it. And she was like, yeah, I had this report up there, and it was the same story. It was up in Mount Shasta area. And so, yeah, I mean, people, with her just randomly right there. We've had some police that went through there, and one of them had a big old Bigfoot sticker on his jar, so I was talking with him. This guy, PCT hiking.
Oh, yeah. So, I told you I did 40 miles in the Sierras, right?
Yeah.
And a couple of friends. So we get down, and there's this place called Sierra City. It's like a hiker hub, okay? Like these PCT hikers. It's like the halfway point on the PCT. It is like 2,600 miles, right? So this is like mile 1,300.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Sierra City is mile 13. So they've been hiking for 1,300 miles. So we're just sitting there chilling because there's like so much snow. So we was walking on snow for 4 days. So we got to Sierra City, and so we're just hanging out, and there's all these hikers coming out of the woods, and this guy was like, hey, so when did you guys get here and everything? I was, oh, we just got out of the snow, and he says, you guys look pretty odd, It's like, yeah, we're and then what do you guys do? They kind of had a feeling that we're kind of a group. I don't know why they did that, but and
Not like
and
Bigfoot.
yeah, and then one of my friends goes, "You really want to know?" and then he goes, "Yeah, sorry, we're Bigfoot researchers, right?" It's like, "Oh, okay." And he says, "Well, I got a story to tell you guys," and he said that for 2 days they were being followed, and by something, it was like making noise, and they were like, "What's following us?" You know? And they followed them for 2 days, like something going, and just making noise following them. And I was like, this is kind of odd, because these guys are hikers.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know anything about Bigfoot, but they just had to tell us this story that they were being followed, and this area is actually the same area where we do the research. So
awesome.
Maybe it was Bigfoot, but yeah, everybody's got something. It's just not being reported.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we find out with paranormal. Also, the same thing too. A lot of people don't like to talk about it because I don't want to be made fun of by my friends or my church or whoever, you know, the next door neighbor. But then when they see you, oh, you do Bigfooting? I gotta tell you this story. Same thing paranormal. Hey, you gotta check out my grandma's house, my friend's house, my house. They have this paranormal stuff. I mean, it's the same kind of type of thing. You know, they're willing to talk once they see there's somebody else crazy out there like us doing that kind of stuff. So, all right, it's quiz time for Sherry. What year was the Patterson-Gimlin foot? I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
She told me don't quiz me on specific stuff like that. So I'm kidding.
You know what?
That's funny.
Okay, I did so good in history in school,
Uh-huh.
and I know that there's like that little poem. I still can't remember what year Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
1492.
Oh, see, look at there.
Isn't it?
Yep,
I
1492.
A plus right here. I'm kidding. No, speaking of the Patterson-Gimlin footage, what's your guys' take on that? Like, not the year, but the overall thing.
Yeah, the month was October 1967.
Look at you. I knew you'd know it.
That's a strange one, because if you're gonna make a Bigfoot costume, right? Because people thinking he made a costume for Patterson. Why would you make one with breasts? It's so hard.
Right.
Yeah. This guy has seen me for my kids' costumes for Halloween. But if they want me to, I'll make them a full-on costume and build like foam heads and stuff. And I have all this modern stuff available. And if my kids said, "Hey, Mom, make sure to put breast on Toothless the Dragon," I'd be like, that's
What?
just a pain in my butt, you know? I'm not going to make those breasts because it's a pain in my rear end to add those.
Yeah, and you know, so they what's his name? The guy, he had funding to test out to see if Patty's breast was real. Like the way it jiggled and everything.
Right.
So they paid. Remember this year? They paid a bunch of actors.
Oh, I remember every guy liked watching the.
We're at the Bigfoot conference. This guy, what's his name? I forgot his name.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen the footage too. Yeah, where they went out testing the field.
With breasts. I was like, when I saw it, I was like, what the heck is going on here?
Right.
So they had these girls on the platform, and they would drop them and watch their breast bounce.
Oh my God. Where can I sign up for that? That's like my type of testing.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I wonder how you describe that. Like he's asking for research money.
Well, you know what? He probably said, "Hey, I'll let you watch." You know, I mean, that's probably how he got the research money.
But,
that's right.
Yeah, that's the oddest thing ever. But anyways, it proved his point that Patty's breasts were real. It jiggled like the real thing.
Right.
If I were to make a costume with breasts, they would be very firm because it would be foam. I wouldn't take the time to fill it up with like sand and be like, okay, let's get the jiggle just right. I wouldn't be like, "Hey kids, jump up and down."
They they have different people too, different women.
Yeah, they had different size breasts and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
and it's like different shapes because ladies' breasts they come in all different
Yeah,
shapes.
I bet.
sizes, and
Oh, the
everything.
guy was Bill Munns. I bet he was like, do that again.
Remember, this is for scientific data research only. That's
for
awesome.
science.
I got a new idea. I'm kidding, by the way. No.
You know what though? I mean, the thing is though that actually was really good information though, because so many people, granted we make fun of it joking around because it is funny, but at the same time it is important because it shows that the movement was natural.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And there were other things that in that video footage that the anatomical anomalies with the creature itself, like they think that I think it was its right leg might have had an abscess or some sort.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it had a swollen,
It was
knotted up part.
kind of bulging out a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Well, if just like with the breasts, if you were gonna build a Bigfoot costume, why would you put something like that in it?
Right.
Why would that detail slip by?
Yeah.
Well, and then on top of that, remember like there's muscular contractions and stuff that people can see in the video.
Uh-huh.
And so the only way that you could really pull that off probably is that whoever's in the costume, if it was fake, he'd have to be like, hey, stand there, let's put glue all over you.
Right.
Glue this costume
Yeah.
to you,
Yeah.
and then make you walk.
Yeah.
You
You have to remember, when they saw this thing, I think Patterson even fell off his horse, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or
Right.
stumbled or something.
Yeah, the horse
stumbled,
went crazy.
Yeah, reared
Yeah,
back. Yeah.
horse went crazy, and he was like trying to keep steady. Okay, this is really dangerous. If you're gonna pull off a hoax, you're gonna go through all that trouble with this expensive camera, trying to follow up a horse and everything. I mean, we see hoax videos like today on YouTube.
Right.
Oh,
Okay, they're really safe. They're like, oh no, look at this, and they're not on a horse. They're not on anything. They're just like there, in their safe little spot.
Uh-huh.
Just recording, right, going to fake shots.
Just happened to be shooting the camera the right way that day, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, for me, because I'm the one that actually goes more through the videos to find things to post, and I sit there and I go through hours and hours and hours of YouTube videos every day.
Right.
And you know what? You get to the point that you can identify folks a million miles away. I love it when they make it easy for me and they put "not clickbait" in the title. I love that. You have to watch it.
Real Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Always, yeah.
Like a good
Real 100% real Bigfoot.
Yeah. If you have to over-explain, it kind of gives it away. Just a tiny little bit. No CGI involved in this making of this video. I promise.
My favorite thing is that when they put like their cover photo, it's like some kid with the booger shot with their phone. Where they're like,
It's real credible, isn't it?
Right?
yeah, and they're like, oh, Bigfoot, and that's usually what you see a lot of with hoaxes. And then when people wear the costume, sometimes you'll see them, they kind of stuff it, but they look like they're walking in a gigantic pillow.
Right.
Then there's other ones who don't even try to stuff it, and you can see the costume flapping in the wind.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks like if a tornado came through, they'd go flying. Somebody better tie a string to them.
My all-time favorites are the ghillie suit
I was going to say the same
costumes.
thing. Yep.
That's, you can spot that a mile away. If you've
Right.
ever seen it once in real life, you can spot that a mile away.
You know what? I have one video that I'm saving for when I'm really desperate and need something funny to post because these people, they don't eat. They basically are like they're like, we did this for fun, but it's a whole bunch of cows around a feeder, and somebody with a ghillie suit decided to like go running around the cows and stuff like that, and these cows have like horns, and I'm like, the whole time I was watching the video, I was like, oh, this guy's gonna get nailed.
Uh-huh.
There's like little calves and stuff, and I was like, any minute now. But unfortunately, it cuts off before the butt gets poked or
Oh,
anything.
no. The best part.
But I'm saving that for if I'm really desperate someday to show a fun ghillie suit costume.
Yeah, look, if anyone can reproduce if the Patty was a costume, okay?
Yeah.
If anyone can reproduce that costume, they can make a ton of money on Halloween.
Oh,
Right.
That was so real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know there was the guy that after Patterson passed away, of course, he got real sick. I think it's Patterson that had the cancer or something.
Yeah, Patterson passed away.
The guy that came out after the fact, before his death, I think, he came out and said, I wasn't the guy in the costume suit. I bought it. It was all a hoax and all this stuff. It stinks that, he had to wait till after, Patterson was gone. It's just
Right.
like, why even do that? Whether it's true or not, I don't care.
I watched a documentary of Hollywood makeup artists who said at the time in that year,
right,
they didn't have the technology of making such a suit.
Right.
It just didn't exist. And then
Right.
they did the proportions of the distance and everything, and where the head of a human, it wouldn't have fit in that shape and how it was walking and everything. It just didn't fit.
Right.
Yeah.
So
with those kind of things that people point out, they like to talk about, oh well, we can make it now. But I'll admit it, I'm on our page. I am the biggest troll to the trolls. I love trolling trolls. It's like a pastime for me. It's like how I get joy. But with them, my favorite thing is, they're like, oh, well, my cousin does costumes, and they could easily make a Patty costume. And I'm like, okay, well, I know someone who has a cell phone. I don't think back then they could make cell phone calls like they can now. Things change.
Right, 100%.
They don't seem to grasp the concept that costume making has increased so much. The technology that they have is so great right now. I mean, you make it look like your muscles are moving. They can make the boobs jiggle. They can
after testing.
Exactly, and they'll know to add in all of those little details, and they'll know how to make those kind of things happen. But back then, they just didn't have that. It was literally the fur costume bag sort of thing and a little stuffing.
Right.
I think the best they could do back then was a Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Even still, that was pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to today's technology, it was still pretty obvious what it was.
Right. And my question was I'm not as familiar with the video as all the specifics about the video as you guys probably are.
Right.
But this was shot out in the woods a ways, wasn't it? It was.
It was funded. That's the problem. People try picking it apart. Is why were you out in the woods shooting this footage? A Bigfoot document. Well, because they were so intrigued by the whole Bigfoot phenomenon from personal experience, and it was starting to grow a little bit at the time. Very small. They went out there specifically for that intent to film the actual footage, and that's why they came across. Luckily, possibly.
I understand that part. What I don't understand is so I mean, and the one guy was on a horse, or both of them probably were.
Yeah.
If they were having to travel there by horseback, but so. How are you going to get a guy in this costume out? Because this costume had to have taken, if it was a costume, it had to have taken hours to put on. To be that realistic. How are you going to get a guy out there like that in this costume? You're not going to have a makeup studio out there in the woods. I mean,
no.
There's a simple logistical things like that are what really sells it for me.
Well, yeah, if you look at, and this is like really, really deep in the forest too, okay, where they filmed it. Look, if they were going to fake it, you don't have to go that far. Most of these hoax videos that we see on YouTube, they're like in the parking lot.
Right, right.
You can hear the car.
You'll hear like a big honk.
That's a good point.
Or you'll hear like the kid's mom, hey Johnny, get in here.
So it doesn't make any sense to go that deep and to put someone in a costume, in that isolate, in that isolation. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have done it in the backyard and no one would even know, right?
Exactly. And then also too, being that it was filmed in California, have you had the chance personally to go up there and inspect the area yourself, just in general?
No, unfortunately we haven't.
Okay.
We'd like to head on up there one of these times, but it's only been in the past few years. Our kids have been old enough for us to be able to kind of leave them at home more, and for those kind of areas, because it's out there deeper and stuff. I'm like,
Right.
Well, number one, if there's not a toilet, they will try to hold it in the whole
Oh my
entire
gosh.
weekend, and that could be a medical problem. Because we took them up to the Sierra site, and there's no bathroom up there. And oh my gosh, the heart attack that they were having about, do I sit on this log and go on the other side? How do I do this? So if we were to take something, they'd be like that. They're not really woodsy kids. But now that they're reaching up,
I think they get along with Roth well.
Yeah.
It's a bug.
Yeah.
We can leave Roth and my kids and let them all hang out with the
What it boils down to is Roth is one big kid himself, so they'll fit in just fine. So.
We ended up getting a call from the cops. They're like, "Hey."
That's right. Sounds about right. That's funny.
I don't know. With my oldest teenager, I think Rose would probably be calling for help very fast. She's very sassy.
I gotcha. So is he. I'm kidding.
Then you know what? They'd probably get along great.
Be a whole lot of sass in that room, that's for sure. Very cool.
Yeah.
We're getting close.
Yeah, we'd like to go up there sometime.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, I think it just once again, it's the most well-known, location for what started, I think, probably the phenomenon out there in the public's eye, for that matter. But it'd be cool just to see. And bad thing about it, it's probably been contaminated or destroyed or whatever.
I was just gonna say, Gimlin, just a few years ago, actually, like on the anniversary, took a camera crew out there just to kind of show them where the site was. And it's overgrown a lot and everything. It's changed a lot since then, but it's deep in the woods. It's hidden away. And he was like telling exactly how it went.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. We're getting close to the end of our show here, but any final thoughts? Any final questions? Anybody want to throw out, or you have any questions for us? We'd be happy to answer for you guys. Anybody? Go ahead.
We're gonna play that.
Oh, did you say
audio?
something? No, go ahead, Jeremiah. Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I can. I was able to pull that audio clip up on my phone. If you guys want to try to hear it, hopefully this works.
Yeah, I hope it works. I'd really
Once
like
again,
to hear it.
if not, we'll just email it to you because it really is kind of cool.
We should just email it anyway.
Do both.
Yeah.
We'll do both.
Both.
Oh,
we actually had a phone call.
We lost you. I didn't even realize we had lost you.
Oh,
This guy pushed the end button. He
was done. He's like, I'm all tapped out. He's at the end of the show. I'm done. Woo.
So we heard absolutely nothing. All
Yeah.
we saw
Oh, you
was
didn't hear me bad mouthing you guys? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Absolutely not. No, we were just saying. What was the last thing you did
To
hear?
answer your question, yes, I was abducted by aliens.
So you do know something about Roth. He actually is an alien. So no.
This is all simulation, and the programmer put Bigfoot here to make us.
What if it is a government cover-up, or is I'm kidding. I'm not going to touch that. I'm joking. No. We're going to say, what was the last thing you guys actually heard on your?
We didn't hear anything.
Yeah, we didn't hear any questions. At
Okay.
all.
Let's just email that audio to
Okay.
him.
We were saying we're going to play the clip for you, but we're actually just going to email that clip of some of the stuff that we caught down in our excursion down in Tahlequah, Oklahoma.
Yeah, we'll send that out to you and get your take on it. I'd love to hear what you think about it.
Yeah.
So
definitely, we have some other questions we want to ask off air that we won't ask during the time because just from some other things, some follow ups. So, anybody have anything?
Nope.
Else?
You good? Okay. Well, we want to definitely thank you guys for joining us. I know it's 2 hours of your time that you can't get back, so I apologize. But no, I'm kidding.
It felt like no time at all.
I know. I looked at the clock. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's time to quit almost.
I mean, I was like afraid that I'd have to like go into like, you know, my ghost stories and go into like my chicken stories after that.
That's for the next time we get you back on. Save those thoughts, because we definitely would love to have you guys back on. I mean, just to see what's gone on since we've talked here tonight, and then, you know, in the future, if you guys have any more, you know, encounters and stuff like that, or, you know, any more stories you want to share, because I know Sean had some stuff he wanted to talk about. We never even got a chance to even touch yet. So
Yeah.
So we would definitely love to have you guys come back on if you're wanting
Oh
to.
yeah, we would love to. Love to. Yeah, there's some cool Sierra sound story I want to tell you guys.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Great, yeah, we'll definitely get you back on, because, like I said, we were supposed to have a guest on last week who they just put on down in North Carolina the WNC Western North Carolina Bigfoot Festival down there that we got invited to next year, that we're going to go out and actually.
Oh, nice.
So
That's actually the same
Are
lady
you guys
that
going?
makes the Bigfoot juice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put it on.
Are you guys going to go down there too, you think?
I think so, because
Good.
that thing, it looks like it was it looks like it's going to be really well done next year, because next year they know how many people to expect.
Yeah, she was dumbfounded. She told us how much the budget was for and what they expected, and then what showed up, we were like, oh my god. And we had just befriended her like a week or two before that, so we didn't get a chance to go down there, but we already got the invite next year, and I think we're going to do some talks on stage with them and put up a booth and all that stuff. So definitely, we would love to meet up with you guys or something, and who knows what kind of trouble we can get into, because we're talking about doing maybe a hunt afterwards also too.
That would be awesome.
Oh my gosh. Well then, then you guys will get my infamous screaming on camera. I'll be like, oh my god, save me.
That's all right. Roth does that all the time.
Then we're gonna have to ask, was that Sherry? Was that Roth? I don't know. They sound pretty similar.
We'll have a
Wow.
who has the higher pitch.
There you go. Because there is
Not much.
There is a
Last
Bigfooting
night.
call, contest, like a Bigfooting call contest down there too. And now we're gonna have a scream off between Sherry and Rose.
There we go.
Who got scared worse?
Exactly. Well, you know what? You need to make sure that you have like one of those Depends underwear. Never get the wettest, win, because that obviously.
Oh my gosh! I like the way you think. I like the way you think.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's funny. No, you guys have been awesome. Once again, viewers at home, we've been spending the last 2 hours talking to Sean Evidence and Sherry. See if I can butcher again. Or you. No, I can't do it. I'm tongue twisted.
You had it good.
I know, it was like nothing the first time, and now it's Oyavong, right?
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
There we go.
Close enough, right? Bigfoot Evidence on YouTube and also Facebook, and also of Squatchable.com. I highly encourage everybody at home to go out there and check their sites out, subscribe to them, get notified, because man, the evidence out there that you guys have put together over the years is incredible. I mean, there's some good stuff out there. There's stuff that left me scratching my head, like wow, just like Tahlequah for our own personal experiences.
Right.
There's some good stuff out there, some good stories. So I definitely encourage everybody at home to go check it out. So
Absolutely.
definitely. But yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. We'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, because I know it's only 7 o'clock over there, but over here it's 9 o'clock. So some of us need to go eat and go to bed. Apparently.
Yeah, I'm gonna go cut some grass.
Cut some grass. Oh my God, you're killing me.
Look at that.
Over here it's dark outside, and you got
Yeah,
sun
I'm gonna go cut
still.
grass right now.
Oh my God. Yeah, see, it's dark outside.
Does it sound dark to it?
Yeah, it's dark out. Yeah,
It's dark.
It's no fun. So yeah, we would definitely love to meet up one of these times, and like I said, definitely have on in a future episode, because we have a lot to talk about. We really scratched the surface, it sounds like. So we'll definitely welcome you guys back on anytime.
Definitely. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
guys.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Well, that was awesome, guys. That once again, like people at home, Sean Evidence, Sherry Oyavong, I almost butchered it again, Bigfooting Evidence, and also Squatchable.com. So definitely go out and check out their page. Like I said, subscribe to it, like their pages. if you have any kind of stories or anything, that's what they do. They take it in. They collect a big database of all kinds of stories. Some are fake, some are real. That they get the submissions that way, not what they post.
Yeah, I like the idea that they actually go through it and try to weed out the junk.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because we get stuff all the time. Hey, you take this picture out. What do you think? It's always the orb picture, and I'm not saying orbs aren't real or aren't real.
Right.
Some of it most of it, probably 90% can be thrown away and say it's just dust. It's an insect.
Yeah.
But there's ones every now and then where it
You
doesn't
get hit
fit.
in the head.
Scratch your head.
Get hit in the
You hit in the
head,
head,
maybe.
and you're like, you get what you ask for sometimes. So yeah, no kidding. We had a guy at home said any sites for South Florida. I'm not sure, Jeff. I'm curious to see what you mean by that. So if you want to email the show or contact us, I would love to. Or if it's for Sherry and Sean, you can talk to them directly too. I'm not sure what you meant by that question, but I wonder if you meant sightings maybe in South Florida.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, the skunk ape
there's-
down there, yeah.
I mean, it's all the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just their random name they called it. But yeah, I mean, there's photographs supposedly of it running through the Everglades out there.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of people have. I mean, there's tons of stories out there in South Florida.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we get them in Kansas.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, if that tells you anything, definitely down in South Florida.
Basically, there's a sighting in every state except for Hawaii.
Yep. Which
and
is Bigfoot
Canada-
can't swim or what?
Yeah.
Sorry.
At least not that
Scared
far.
of the volcano that's out there.
That's
you know?
true too. Yeah,
But
Mount
no,
St. Helens,
yeah.
Washington. Anyway.
Well, Mount St. Helens, there are supposedly bodies up on the mountain. Mount St. Helens after it erupted.
Bigfoot? Or,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why I didn't
What
know.
are we talking about?
Well, I mean, there's actual human bodies up there too. So
Yeah.
that's why I was like, Bigfoot?
No, I'm talking about Bigfoot. No,
Yeah,
they
I gotcha.
actually there's claims.
Yeah, right,
There's
right,
claims at
right.
least of that, but
But who's gonna go up there and look because Mount St. Helens is still rumbling.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. No, thank you. I'll take your word on it. So, but no, like I said, that was a great interview with them, and like
You
I said,
drive? I'll drive.
that was fun to talk to them, and yeah, I mean, I had to give her a heck because she told me don't ask a certain question about. She's like, don't ask me specifics about things. Ask me more of a broader scale. That's why I said it's quiz time. What year was it? I'm glad Sean was able to rattle it off just like that. That's fun. They're a great.
I knew it was 67. I had no idea about the month or
I didn't
whatever.
remember either. I'm glad he remembered 67. I was like, what year is it? I hope he doesn't ask me because I can't remember.
And just think about it. I mean, that was California, but it was October.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't know what the weather is. I've never been to California.
Oh, dude, I love California.
But
It's mid
70s,
high 80s
probably.
right now.
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Most of it, yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, still.
Still,
if you're
Sean
putting
was wearing
somebody-
a Hawaiian shirt, getting ready to go
Yeah.
cut his grass. It's
I know.
September.
That's
but I'm
crazy.
talking like put somebody in a suit out there in that weather
Yeah.
and making them walk a long distance. And I mean,
I mean,
just
can
doesn't
it
make-
be
Yeah.
faked? Of course it can. Anything can be faked, even in this day and age, obviously, with technology. But back then, it
That was
doesn't
if
fit
that's a
that
fake,
profile.
that's a damn
The best fake in
good
history.
fake.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all there is to it.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
it's
That was good
convincing
as the
enough for
lady.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
yeah, 100%. So
Yeah.
no, that's awesome. So I'm about talked out. I don't know
Yeah.
about you guys? You guys didn't say much. These guys.
I'm
over
tired.
Here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm ready to.
We're all
We've got
tired.
another investigation next weekend, so.
Yeah.
I want to take him out to Colorado, put some pimp juice on him.
Yeah, I know.
And get
I'll wear
this-
the donut collar
Let's do
and
it.
everything.
Yeah, we
Well,
eat donuts like.
Yeah, I'm gonna be eating them as I walk off.
Bigfoot's been sexually assaulting dudes out there.
I know.
That's why he's wearing the axe.
No, I'm putting on here. Let's spray you. No, but yes, show next week,
investigation.
right?
Yeah.
Yep. So
What's that?
we having a show next week?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, I won't be here. That's why I asked that. Never mind. You guys,
Yeah.
you guys having a show next week?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be out of town.
You're out of town?
I may be I may be back in town. I
You
doubt
have
it.
no idea.
Because I'll be in Kansas City for a minute, so. But
Of course, we'll have a show.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll coming in, dragging ass, and
Taking names.
3 weekends in a row,
That's all
going
we do.
investigating, and
well, this is our busy time of the year
Yeah.
because of October, Halloween, the phenomenon, which is great. We love being
well, it's
busy.
still September.
Well, I
It's
know,
still-
but yeah.
October's still coming, and oh my lord. Yeah.
No, we love it. We've had some great interesting investigations lately, and we have more on the horizon. Yeah. So
we're meeting a lot of great people out there from Leavenworth.
A lot of connections we're getting. I mean, we're gonna go back to that area. So just some final housekeeping. Don't forget October 20th, Ness City at the Ness County Bank. We have the promo out there right now. Go out there, spend a night with us, ELP out there and RTP out there, and might as well Cryptic Heartland. We'll be out there too, all of us, all the same facets. So go out there, you get a chance to investigate a 4-story former bank that's definitely haunted. I mean, we've had so much
from
activity.
The 1880s.
Yep. So that's out there. Go on the. Is it under what's it? Where's it at? Where can you find? Oh, call the museum itself.
Yeah, call the Ness City Bank building for all tickets and information, because all the money and funding goes to them to help to keep the bank going.
Yep. And then don't forget November 3rd out in the Midland. I would say Midland Theater, the Midland Railroad Hotel. We're doing a stay. You can actually stay with us over there and investigate the hotel itself, which is famous for its own. For the movie, I can't talk. I'm so damn
Paper
tired.
Moon.
Paper Moon movie. It's also there's across the street down the corner is a delicious place to eat, but also we get to investigate there in an old jail. It's called the Grandma Soda Shop. That place is definitely on it. We've had some of our best. I've had. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Some of our best experiences down there. So. That's coming up November 3rd, and then whatever else we get into along the way, and we got a lot of stuff coming up, both private and public. So keep notice or keep eye out for what we post. So cool. Somebody take us out. I'm so damn tired I can't talk.
All right.
Don't forget to like and share.
I'm just kidding. Who's Cher? The singer?
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
Share.
What do I say?
One more time, thank you to our special guest for the night, Sean Evidence and Sherry Oryavong, something like that.
That's right.
Bigfoot Evidence and Squatchable.com.
Yep.
That was an awesome time talking to them. Look forward to talking to them again at some point in the future. Don't forget all the special events that Leo already mentioned. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit up our page again, and if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, whatever you can do. Give us positive feedback and help us get the word out. So, we'll be back next week on Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I think that's it.
We're out of here.
That's it.
Good night.
Good night, y'all. See you next week.
Peace.
All right, good night.
Nay.
Doing that.
He's starting over.
No, that's the right one. Right?
Huh?
That's the right outro.